So we're way back at the beginning now, okay? So we've got pretty near the top for some algebra and some number, but looking at three-dimensional geometry, and we're starting at the beginning. They'll have had this piece of material since they were 2.5 years old. So, and when they were very young, they would be just doing it in a very simple process. I'll do that process for you very quickly. And you'll notice the shapes and the colours and the blocks. This is something you need to be able to do with your eyes closed, literally. So 8 blocks, recognise it, it's all good, there's no problems there. ECE speed. Oh, don't promise, Peter. Different child, different level of awareness. Okay, but so it just fits together. Do you understand how this fits together? I'm calling it a binomial cube. Bi meaning two, nomial meaning names, two names, and you can actually see that there are two sizes. There's sort of like the small size and the big size. And so the two sizes, you could call them two numbers, A and B if you wanted to, because the mathematicians, we label things very simply. Can you see this pattern, this big square, little square, and two rectangles sort of pattern? Call that the binomial patterns. See it there? See it there? See it there? Okay, so the binomial pattern is all the way through. It's a way of expanding this cube. So the first one is to take it apart. What do you notice?
Big red cube.
Big red cube. You know it's a cube because all of these lengths are the same. So it's red all the way around, yeah? What do you notice about this one?
It's not a cube.
Not a cube, but it does have a
Square base.
square. It's got a red square. You notice another one of these?
Yeah.
You're just about to get cross in a minute, sorry. Jenny will get very cross with me in a minute. Okay, same? So there's 3 of exactly the same? Yeah. This one is a
Square base.
it's square, but can you see that that measurement is the same? So the depth of it is the same as the side of the square, whereas also the depth of this is the same as the side of the square, which is why it fits together. And this dude? Cube.
Small cube.
Yeah. So we've got 1 cube, 3 squares, another 3 squares, and 1 cube. Does that make sense? Does anyone remember doing a quadratic in school? Okay. X plus 2 all squared equals x squared plus 4x plus 4. You need to set that to 0, 0 equals x squared plus 4x plus 4, and then you need to factorise, find the square root, find the roots, all of this sort of stuff. This is all they were trying to say. That's all it is. This is it, okay?
What a time waster.
What a time waster. You would have spent over, I've taught it many times, you would have spent over 6 months of your life learning this concept which you've never seen written down, okay? Let's imagine, because we're imaginative, that the first number is going to call A. Let's call this distance A here. The second one we could come up with something equally cool, B! Let's call this one B, okay? A, B. This is, if I take A, that's A squared, would you agree with me? And if I want to add B, I'm going to go from A squared, which is a small square, to A plus B squared, which is a bigger square, and I've increased it by B, right? I've got A squared here. What's this one down here?
B.
This is A here, and that is
B.
So can you see that's A plus B all squared?
Yeah.
A squared, A squared plus this, what's this piece called? This is a B, and this is an A. In maths, it's polite to put things in alphabetical order. So we'd call this A, B. This is an AB here. This one is an AB.
AB.
And this one is a
B squared.
Can you see this?
Oh,
is a square?
yes.
Now the child who knows that a square of B is because they've been doing these chains since they were 4 years old. They know that a number times itself creates a square. This is a squared plus 2ab plus b squared, which is the quadratic that we're trying to get you to understand. Okay?
It's so much easier with the visual.
Isn't it? So much easier. Yeah. However, we're in the third dimension. This is now a plus b cubed. And if I take a plus b cubed, I get a cubed plus 3a squared b plus
3ab squared plus
b cubed. 8 pieces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So, the theory behind this is how to grow a cube. I take a cube and I want to make a bigger cube. Well, how do I go about doing that? I could stick some stuff on here. That makes it a little bit bigger, right? And if I stick it on here, well, it's not really a cube anymore, right? I could stick it here, but it doesn't feel like it's a cube. How about I stick it there? That sort of feels right, right? I've gone out in this dimension, and I've gone out in this dimension growing my cube. But there are 3 dimensions. Can you notice I have to go up as well? And I could put it there, but it feels like it should go there. Can you see that red matches red? That red matches red? That red matches red. In fact, that's always true. Now, I've got these guys here that sort of fit in to that slot. Do you see how they fit in? And then I always have a cube in the corner, always, when I'm growing a cube. Start off with a small cube, and I grew this cube. Does it make sense to you? Yeah? Close your eyes. Go for it. You said it made sense.
Okay.
Keep your eyes closed.
Just everybody, you keep going. I'm just going to be talking to everybody.
Yes.
You're right. We're just looking at bits and pieces here. You're doing really well.
Give my bearings.
Absolutely. Hey, this is a really hard task I've asked you. You've never met this material before, but the other guys are just thinking about this binomial pattern, which we see a lot. What the binomial pattern means. Can you see how it's growing a square? I take a square and I make it bigger. Oh, I can actually see the binomial pattern in this carpet. Can you see we started off with red carpet tile. I added 2 and I ended up with another square on this corner. There'll always be a square diagonally opposite. And now I've got a big square. Can you see that? This binomial pattern everywhere you go. Right, so Shannon, you're able to notice that something feels the same size. Is that right?
Yeah.
Cool. It's okay, you're doing a great job. We're not going to look at you anymore. You're going to keep on doing your thing. I'm going to be burbling in the background. This is the big brother, if you like. It's called the trinomial cube, but exactly the same deal. A plus B, you already recognise is there. What do you reckon? Plus C? 3 dimensions? I'm going to take off the first layer, put it here. I'm going to take the second layer and put it there, the third layer, put it there, which is right for you. Okay, if I was sitting beside you, that's what it would feel like. I always take them off in the same way that I would like. So this side, and then across, and across, and across. And I keep the orientation the same, but I don't need to keep it in the same place. Like I'm not twisting that down when I put it, I'll keep it like that. It makes life a lot easier later, but I don't have to put it down exactly where it goes on the map. Although I could easily choose to do that. Does this make sense to everybody? You can see I'm doing primary speed. ECU speed takes a little bit longer. This is the second layer now. Can you see that I'm working they're all slightly thicker? So like there's the thin layer on top, and then there's a slightly thicker layer, and can you see I'm up to the fattest, thickest layer. Everyone watching what I've been doing? Good on you, Sam. Put it all away. Even with your eyes open. You can't. How are you feeling? You starting to get to know the pieces?
Yeah. I hope.
Yeah. Okay, so it feels quite satisfying when you can feel them matching, hey?
Yes. Yeah. What did I do with the other one?
You're right. I'm serious, you have to do this with your eyes closed, and I would insist the kids do too. You think that we can understand it when we can just do it with eyes open, but really, eyes closed is the big deal. Okay, you're doing really well. Over here, just remember to follow the same pattern all the way through. So, can you see that it goes thicker, thickest, thicker, thick. Nice, eh? Okay. You do one layer and I'll get JJ to do the second layer. How are we going here? All good. So these children are 3 years old. They've been working with this material quite some time. Okay. How did you go?
Oh!
Yeah? What's the purpose of maths, please? What's that?
Yeah.
Great feeling you got.
Wow.
How do you feel?
I feel good.
Did you, eh?
Yeah. Cool.
Did you see all the processes? Yeah, really lovely. Obviously, a 3-year-old, I'm not going to ask them to do that on day one.
Yeah.
Save that for Friday. Yeah?
Cool.
Nice, eh?
Yeah.
Yep. Well, you got.
Yes.
Heidi, I think there's another time on your cube over there. Would you mind doing that for me? 5 the power of 2 block. This little guy looks. Who's going to have a turn? Shona, are you up to this? After? You can have a mat if you like. This one, we operate in a slightly. Is it a binomial? We'll try. No, it's right. You're right. That's the one I wanted. No, yeah. Because you're going to hold the camera while Jackie does it.
Okay. Thank you.
There you go. Would you mind holding that?
Just if you can just video them.
One of the reasons we do go slowly is that we never drop anything.
I've got this game on my head.
On your iPad? What would we miss on
The feel of it.
Sensory.
Yeah.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, you thought it was good when you saw it, or when you felt it.
Was the only one.
Somebody's got her eyes closed, just doing some thinking. Look, the glasses are even off, and I tell you, it's very good. What's here? Oh my God! How did that feel?
I
Right.
kind of just.
It is easy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Jenny, out to do with the eyes closed. Please take them apart with your eyes. Please take them apart one at a time with your eyes open. Put remember top layer, top right, second layer, bottom right, third layer, top left. Now this one is exactly the same except for some colouring. Because I taught you guys to do that one by layers and this one by wrappings, if you like. And I'll show you what I mean. Well, Chloe, you're doing really well. Jackie, looking good. Are you enjoying yourself? Yeah, I can see you are. Great. It's so obvious, hey? Don't think that maths is about getting maths is about getting it wrong and just enjoying it. Yes, good. Are you up to it? Mate. Are you still sick?
Yeah.
Right. Change your body, get a better one. What's that? Antibiotics nowadays are just more and more. Spot this. It's white. Now I've just told you the colour scheme and you understand the colour scheme on that, right? And the colours always match up. The colour catches the colour. Yes? Good. Just one thing, maybe I didn't make it clear, but see if you can make the orientation of the pieces the same. It doesn't matter now,
Okay,
but
yeah.
it makes your life a lot easier when you're putting it back in. Okay. Over here, you going, Jackie, you having fun? Yeah. Alicia's, she's left. Look at that. She's got it all organised in her head. Can you see that structure? That's called science, where we categorise. Really important aspect of science is to categorise. And look at this, straight in, she's off, and she's off. And look at that. Jackie, how are you feeling? Out of 10, just at the moment.
Probably about 11.
That is so. I love that.
Yeah. And it was given to you very poorly when you were 15 in the form of quadratics. And no one ever explained to you that x squared was actually the square of x. And x plus 3 all squared is x squared plus 6, x plus 9. So, would you like to put down?
Yeah.
In fact, me trying to stop you would be difficult. I should
Like that.
It's white. It's yellow on the next layer around. It's orange on the next layer. It's like layers of the earth. I'm going deeper and it's red. Can you see this? Can you see? All you can see is like one colour from that side. I'm going deeper and I'm getting up to the red. And now I'm up to the brown layer. The brown layer. And now I'm up to the green layer. And I've come to the blue layer. Does it make sense? So it's a different way of doing exactly the same puzzle. Alright? I'd open or close, you decide.
Open.
Boring. But
Oh.
boring.
Okay,
Boring.
close.
Do you need this? Okay, close. Do you need this?
Well, mine's pretty close, so no.
Go forth. How's Jenny going? She's working hard. She's giggling. She thinks it's funny.
Keep losing my piles.
It's okay. So what does that teach you?
Maybe.
How dependent we are on vision. And actually, we don't need to be this dependent. Sorry, you grab whatever you need. Binomial, trinomial, cube. Everybody understand it? Yeah? Easy? Beautiful piece of equipment.
Fun.
Can you see it as the introduction to algebra? If I call, hey, let's call this A. Let's call this B. Hey, we've got A squared plus B squared plus 2AB. Or let's call it a cube. A cubed plus 3A squared B plus 3AB squared plus B cubed. When I talk like that, does anyone's blood run cold? Don't give me all those letters and numbers and stuff. How did you go? Easy? Why are you still going?
I didn't need to get the orientation of where the colours are.
Alright, you go. Tempting though it is to intervene. Do I have her permission to intervene at the moment?
No.
Is there anything she's giving? Look at Matt, she's totally in the Zen moment. Could I leap in there? See, I just interrupted his concentration, but could I leap in there and start bossing around? Do I have that right? Just because he's doing it with his hands, most of the time we do a lot of our work cognitively, but it's the same process. If someone's concentrating, you don't have the right to jump in there and start jiggling around. Jenny is
She went
finding
with her eyes closed.
What's that?
She had
Jenny has eyes closed? Oh, is she cheating? No. It's not cheating, it's enjoying. Look at Emma, that concentration is pretty big. Do you think it's because we concentrate hard that the release at the end is so good? Like that feeling you have, that whoa. I asked them when your eyes closed to keep it on your face the whole way through. And so what? So you were focusing on that, but really the story was being told up here.
Yeah.
Like there was frustrations, there were times of but then there was a time where you were just sort of working it out, and then you got into a bit of a pattern, and it built up this crescendo to this climax. You didn't think it'd be climaxing in math? Videoing me. Alright, are you having a turn too? Hey, who's going to win? The blocks or you? Who's going to win? The blocks or you?
Me.
Who's going to win? The blocks or you? Are you going to win?
What are we winning? Winning joy and peace. Yeah.
We're getting to one piece. Listen, they're only blocks. If they don't fit right, just be calm, beautiful, and they'll get together.
Yeah.
Gotta feel good, Emma.
Yes.
It does, eh? It's only 8 pieces of wood, but it is profound. Okay, so it's the root of all. What are we doing here?
So they're doing it with their eyes closed. Wow.
For giggles.
Why? Why?
Because we rely too much on the visual.
Yeah.
I rely a lot clearly.
If you were young and doing this the first few times, surely. But I just want to ramp it up so that it keeps interest for these adults as well, so they get that joy of, wow. But for a 3-year-old, putting that together, even with their eyes open, is like serious joy. It's like pure, it's very, very good. Emma, that feels good, doesn't it?
But I don't understand.